The crisis rocking the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, took a dangerous twist when the executive committee of the party in ward of Boko local government area of Benue State suspended the national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu, on Sunday after passing a vote of no confidence on him for anti-party activities. While Ayu has rejected the purported suspension, Governor Iyorchia Ayu of Rivers State said he supports the move because Ayu played a major role in the colossal failure of the PDP in the 2023 general election. The problem of Adams Oshomole started when the people from his ward actually said they suspended him.
Yes.
And that problem started, and he could not actually upturn that decision till he was booted out eventually.
Yes. But in the PDP, I don't think they can pull that kind of, they can pull it off. I don't think that the words, in the APC, the way they see it, you are first a party member before becoming a national official.
So, from that grassroots?
Yes. So they can punish you at the grassroots level. In fact, what they have done is to simply suspend Ayu and get the courts involved. That looks like the plan, because the PDP constitution is explicit. It's the NWC that can suspend a national officer. It's the NWC. So I don't know how they intend to succeed with this thing. If it is APC, if the national leadership likes the governor, likes the person suspended, they will simply go and expel the people who suspended him. And those ones will now be running helter-skelter, begging to have their, to remain in the party. You saw what they did to those who suspended the SGF. They moved against them. Yeah. They said, look, this suspension is ultra-vires. The Exco itself, they descended on the Exco that suspended APC. That was the way they handled that. Perhaps PDP will borrow a leaf from the APC and do that to the.
Well, if the leadership of the party has an interest, anything goes, including.
I don't think they will. Ayu has said that this suspension is a waste of time. I don't think that it can stand, because the national leadership has to ratify it.
But don't forget, Jide, there will be forces now after the election contending for the soul of that party, naturally. There's bound to be
now that they've lost the election, there will be angry people and all that.
They want to come and take control of this. But look at Wike's reaction now.
Yes,
because he didn't contribute to the success of the party in any way.
Wike is not even denying, he's happy with the suspension. And I think that Otom, who has also lost an election there, or 2 elections there, will also be happy. But the suspension, without the national leadership ratifying it, I don't think that they can get away with it.
So can it be a precursor?
My feeling is that they will follow this up. What will happen is they will get someone to go and sue.
Okay.
To say, this suspension is wrong.
That script might be on ground.
So when you sue, the case will be in court, they will be dragging it, and the court could say, okay,
Mr. Chairman,
step aside until we decide this substantive matter, which will make people like Wike happy, as long as Ayu has been told to step aside. That may be the plan. It's not possible to know exactly how they are thinking, but it could be the plan. But to simply think that they can get Ayu out of the way by the suspension at the world level, I don't think it's going. Even I think the local government has also said it does not have a hand.
Yeah, but Jide,
All right.
you are now
Okay. Let's quickly take this breather, please, on commercials, and when we come back, we'll conclude on this. Thank you for staying with us. Yes. You know, in politics, anything can happen, and
You know, they just sent me a message now that they've secured an interim injunction telling Ayu not to parade himself as the chairman of the party. I knew that this would be followed up by
that's why I told
legal
you
action.
that.
You know, I knew it, but
The soul of PDP
by
is at
that,
stake now.
by the suspension alone, he cannot stand. But I knew they would try to use the court.
They want to start fighting for.
legal backing.
So in the next 2-3 years, PDP might be in serious crisis. Different factions.
They just want to take over the party. They assume that the party that ran for the election had lost.
Yes.
And they knew what they call the young thugs.
It happened in 2015 too.
It happens
They
everywhere.
had to chase away the former chairman, the Bauchi former governor. So 2015, the former governor of Bauchi, who led them to the loss, Adamu, who led them to that loss in 2015. Immediately after the election, the anger was too much. They had to dispense with him. And they struggled and struggled and struggled, you know, to
Why
have...
did you think Atiku Abubakar held on to Iyorchia Ayu in spite of what is, you know, wasn't he doing his calculation of what he stood to lose?
No, he did. Well, somebody must have told him that the votes in the South, because it wasn't nobody, myself included, saw the Obi phenomenon getting to where it got. Because if I were to be an advisor to Atiku at the point that he got the tickets, I would be part of those who would tell him, let the governors go. The Southeast had nobody else to vote for anyway, but us. They hate Tinubu with a passion, so they vote. But when Obi came in, changed everything, and by then it was so deep into the Ayu challenge that to throw Ayu under the bus will show him as being weak, and that will show the 5 governors as one controlling the party at that point. So basically, it's an ego problem, because once you did the calculation that the Southeast had nowhere to go but to support you, they now have a candidate they wanted to support that is not PDP. Before, the best thing is to bring all your soldiers together and recoup. But by then, you cannot throw Ayu under the bus.
If the unifier if he's saying that he's claiming he won that election, but in his inner heart, when he looks at the exit of Kokonso, looks at the exit of Obi, look at the exit of the G5 governors from one party, and you could still claim you won that election.
You see that article recorded even that many votes, more than 6 million, I think 6.8 million or so, was down largely to discontent with the APC. And then tribal politics was also played.
Massive.
Yes. Look at what the governor-elect for Katsina said. He said their people played ethnic politics. That was why they lost the presidential election. There were people who felt, this is an Hausa Fulani person like me. And you know, Atiku actually went to Kaduna to preach that I'm your son. He's made her should vote for.
Well,
he
told people
and
that
it became, in Kaduna, it really worked against the APC. This Naka. Yes, your own is your own. Your own is your own. So there are many people who fell for it. And there are people like Governor Rufai who was moving from radio station to radio station, trying to tell the people that, look, you can't be voting along ethnic lines at this stage. You know, this is the better candidate and all that. So that coupled with the suffering that our people were going through, the unprecedented Naira crisis, and fuel scarcity too during the same period. People have rice feeds. They have to buy petrol at 350 naira per liter in many states. As much as 350 naira per liter. You go to Jos, it's 350. Go to Borno, 350, 400. So those things, those difficult situations that our people are going through, made the APC vulnerable and almost unelectable. But in the end, when Wike said that the hero was Obi, he knew what he was saying. Because if Obi had not entered the race,
PDP will have won
the election.
That was the fact.
The vote that went to Obi?
Yes.
Now,
those 6 million votes, if you add them to Atiku's votes.
That's 12 million. That's a landslide.
That's 12 million. It's a huge landslide.
You know, that was the case. Sokoto man was making.
That was why Wike said, I think recently, that Obi was the hero of the election. He knew what he was saying. Because with Obi in the race, they were able to achieve their aim.
To ensure power comes.
Yes. They were able to achieve their aim. Without him in that race,
that was the selling point now.
Even in the places where he won outside the southeast, there were places where the PDP usually won. PDP usually won Abuja now. He inherited it. PDP usually won Nasarawa. If you check, from 1999, PDP had dominated Nasarawa. You know, because of the huge population of our friends from the southeast in some local governments in Nasarawa, right up to even Kefi. So the places he won in Plateau. PDP had always dominated Plateau. I think it was just this long So,
and they won in Osun because of what is happening.
Okay, of course, Osun, they have a new governor. So without him, take those 6.1 million votes away and give Atiku. APC would have lost
heavily.
So that's the thing. And for me, even I don't know how Atiku, but of course the tribunal is there. Let them go and prove that they won the election. We don't know what they are thinking. Maybe they have all the facts. But let them go and prove that they won the election. But I think that when you lose big people in a political party, why was it easy for me to predict that in Kebbi State that PDP will win the presidential election? Because of people like Adamu Alero who left. And that's what happened. So you can't lose Kwankwaso, lose the G5 governors, lose Obi, and think that there won't be consequences.
You don't even have the Kwankwaso votes. You didn't add the Kwankwaso votes to the votes that he lost.
I said you can't lose Kwankwaso.
And the votes that he got added to the one you gave to Atiku, why
Yes.
not to be something? And
Yes,
now look at about
it's true.
13 million.
If we add Kwankwaso's votes to it, that's
Over 1 million.
Yes, over 900 plus.
That's about 30 million. They could give a few
Yes,
thousands.
more than 13 million
So the original
to
plan,
6.8.
the original plan was to use the tribal card, as you said, so for the northerners, and then to take their traditional areas. But Obi came in and changed the entire scenario.
And I don't think it worked. Even it worked to an extent.
Yeah.
But the governors of the Northwest, they worked very hard.
They pushed back.
You know, at least to make where he lost, to make the gap narrow. They worked very hard.
marginal.
Yes.
They worked very hard. So, in the end,
It's interesting. I'm sure we'll discuss this even after the tribunal.
For a long time, this election will go down. Dramatic.
I like the way, especially the presidential election. There are many things that I do not like about the governorship election, the violence and all that I do not like.
and
But
the
the presidential election,
Intimidation.
I really like the way the presidential election went.
So for the PDP, Wike is saying that it supports the move because Ayu played a major role in the colossal failure.
Yes,
the leader.
Ayu should have sacrificed his position to keep
For
those
the greater
people.
good, yeah.
To keep those people, he should have sacrificed his position. You know? He should have sacrificed his position. Maybe they will still not win, you understand? But even if they don't win, it will be very close. Because if they, he should have taken, rather than allow everything to collapse like this, we should have said, gentlemen, and pull him back. No? But he was not ready to do that.
No.
He was out of the limelight for too long.
Yeah.
And suddenly when the limelight came, a certain Wike wanted to push him back to the doldrums. And the man said, no, you are not going to succeed in pushing me back to the doldrums. This is my day in the sun. I'm going to enjoy it. So,
Yeah. 5 minutes of fame. Almost over.
no, it's more than 5 minutes. So.
15 minutes.
Months. The man is not ready to go.
GKB, thank you for your contribution today.
Thank you very much. And thank to the GH people for the wonderful birthday.
Last week. Yeah.
I'm now an ancestor.
Tomorrow is someone's birthday, but we won't talk about that person. Okay. Until tomorrow.
Okay. I'll try and answer this. And the maestro, Babajide Kolade Otutoje, thank you for always being there.